For those of you who didn't see this day coming and you didn't want to be involved with what was happening on the news, we got these people who they voted the couch. These people who they claim that they don't want to really look at the news and they're not into politics. Well, you should be, because come November and December, a lot of those people won't be getting food stamps. So food stamps are what, EBT? They already sending letters out letting people know they're not going to be eating. So you're going to have to start looking at other alternatives. And I've been seeing videos all this weekend, as a matter of fact, of people planning how they're going to get their food. And it isn't good. Sounds like they're going to be doing some robbing and looting. I would say this: anybody going shopping in November, be careful where you go and what you see. Get in and get out fast. Have your grocery list set up. Get things piece by piece. Either get it all at once and get it at a certain time when you know it's not chaotic. Because the closer it gets to the holiday on Thanksgiving, there's going to be a lot of unhappy folks out there. I say it's already starting. I was hearing one of the videos talking about a Walmart that had to evacuate its workers because it was too dangerous, because the people went in there and robbed the Walmart for the groceries, filled up their shopping cart, and they skipped the aisle where you pay, and they pushed their way and forced their way out of the store. The last time I seen that happen is in 1992 when they had the riots here in Los Angeles County. People were rioting. And I believe that could happen again. But this right here is looting, rioting, anger, poverty, because people are unhappy with the way things are happening here. And it's getting bad. Now, I believe something horrible is on the horizon. And I don't know if this is the breaking point, but I will say this: around holiday times, when this month of November is often centered around family events and food, cutting people's EBT money off, yeah, that sounds like a breaking point. That's one of them, at least. I already knew it was bad when they cut the Section 8 off, but you know, people said it is what it is. But now you're dealing with people's food, their only source of eating, for some folks, what I'm hearing. And so I believe that we might see rioting. We just had a No Kings rally, protest, and I heard in most of the states a lot of people showed up in the thousands, maybe millions. Now you want to cut off people's food source? This ain't good. It ain't gonna be good. The Trump administration, they won't use contingency fund to pay November food stamp benefits. So this is real news. So this is out of CNN. Don't know how much realer it can get. But it says the USDA of Agriculture says it will not tap into the $6 billion contingency fund to cover food stamp benefits next month if the shutdown continues. So part of this is going to be blamed on the government shutdown, according to the agency memo obtained by CNN. So that means that roughly 42 million Americans will not receive critical food assistance programs from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program called SNAP. This is in November. So unless the agency shifts its position, however, when asked whether he would direct USDA to fund food stamps next month, President Trump told reporters late Friday, yeah, everybody is going to be in good shape. Yep, the president did not provide specific details. So I don't know if they're going to tap into it or not, but I'm hearing it's causing a frenzy. People are afraid that they're losing everything. So, however, when they asked him, he said they would be all right, but I don't know about that. So Trump's comments appeared to conflict with the agency's memo, which stated the contingency funds are not legally available to cover regular benefits. So that's the problem right there. It says it's not available to cover those things. So SNAP contingency funds are only available to supplement regular monthly benefits when amounts have been appropriated for, but are insufficient to cover benefits, the memo says. So the contingency fund is not available to support FY 2026 regular benefits because the appropriation for the regular benefits no longer exists. So that doesn't sound good. So also it states that would not it goes on to say more, it will not be reimbursed if they use their own funds to pay for the benefits, according to the memo, which was reported earlier. That's by Axios. So the loss of the critical safety net program ramps up pressure on Congress to end the federal government shutdown. So that's really what it's based on. So it began October 1st by agreeing to a federal spending package. Now, I remember they were talking about the health care. That's what they wanted to stay in place. They didn't want the Republicans to take parts of the health care away. So they couldn't come to an agreement. So then the shutdown began. So Republican lawmakers and officials, they blamed the Democrats for the impasse, saying they are harming Americans. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins last week told reporters the food stamps will run dry by the end of the month. So that's what the worry is. So the agency told states earlier that this month that there is not enough money to pay for full food stamp benefits in November if the lapse in funding, federal funding, continues, and asked them to hold off on next month's payment until further notice. So however, Democratic lawmakers and SNAP advocates, they argue the USDA should or is even obligated to use the contingency funds to pay November benefits, which are estimated to cost about $8 billion. And they are urging the agency to tap into the pots of money to cover the difference, as the administration has done for its priorities, like when they pay the troops. So Secretary Rollins claimed that the Trump administration is unable to deliver November SNAP benefits during the shutdown is unequivocally false. Sharon Parrott, president of the left-leaning Center on Budget and policy priorities, and a former Office of Management and Budget official said in a statement Thursday. In fact, the administration is legally required to use contingency reserves, billions of dollars that Congress provided for the use of SNAP funding is inadequate that remain available during the shutdown. So in its shutdown contingency plan, which has been since taken offline, the agency noted that congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operation should continue, and referenced that the contingency plan can be used to fund participant benefits if the lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. So there's all this worry about whether people are going to get their benefits or not. So it says about 1 in 8 Americans receive help buying food through the SNAP program. So a key pillar of the nation's safety net, the program provides enrollees with an average monthly benefit of $188 per person. This was as of May. So I believe that's pretty much what they were saying. So the food program is the second nutrition assistant lifeline at risk of running out of money amid of ongoing standoff on Capitol Hill. WIC, it also provides food aid to nearly 7 million pregnant women, new moms, and young children. It was on course to deplete its funding earlier this month, but the Trump administration shifted $300 million in tariff revenue, and that's typically used to fund child nutrition WIC's programs to keep WIC operating. So the infusion should be enough to cover benefits for the rest of the month, according to the National WIC Associations. But this is not the first time that the SNAP program or food program have been at risk of during a shutdown. So during the record long impasse, it began December of 2018. The USDA initially they said benefits would run dry at the end of January, but the agency then said it would use a provision allowing it to make obligated payments within 30 days of a government funding lapse to cover February payments. And that workaround ultimately it wasn't needed since the shutdown had ended late January. So CNN's Kit Mayer contributed to this report. And so that's what the fear is that this government shutdown could possibly impact millions of Americans that need food stamps. So they're warning, and even on the news tonight, this is Sunday night, I saw on news, MSNBC and some other news outlets warning Americans that their SNAP benefits could be at risk of not having them, shutting them down altogether for November. And I'm hearing also possibly December, and that it somehow ties into this government shutdown. So it's not looking good for a lot of people. Already it wasn't looking good. We've had the ICE situation, the deportations and the violence. Then we've had more and more protests, more and more people that even were voting for this administration. Now they're upset because they're now being hit. Their businesses are not doing well. People are losing jobs. I'm hearing TSA, they are calling in because they're not getting paid. They're taking other jobs just so they can get money, so they can pay their bills, their mortgages and car notes and all of their bills. Then when you stop people's job, the bills don't stop. Now you're messing with people's food. So, yeah, I feel that something bad is on the horizon, and I've been feeling this feeling, and I've been foreseeing something not really good coming, and this could be possibly the breaking point. I say the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. If the people go in the store and their benefit cards don't show that they have a balance so they can pay for groceries, something is going to pop off for sure. So just be careful and be aware of your surroundings and where you're at. So I'm also noticing empty apartments, more empty apartments. I'm in the city of Inglewood, and they're breaking into the empty apartments and they're squatting in them. So these empty apartments that have been unloaded, maybe because, people had to leave the country, or either they just couldn't pay the rent. A lot of these empty vacant apartments are getting ransacked. Squatters are taking them over, and it takes a while to get those people out when you have an empty apartment. Nobody's living in it. So you're trying to rent it out to somebody. Some people are homeless and they're around the area. They bust the windows and they go in there and they try to live in there, and it's hard to get those people out. So you might have to put some kind of security windows or something, because people are desperate now. So these are crimes. The crimes that I was foreseeing are not crimes because people just want to just be out there committing crimes just to be doing it. These are crimes of survival. Food. People don't have a place to live. They don't know what they're going to do. And so I foresaw this coming. And hopefully I'll get control of all of this and this won't turn into what I foreseen. But I see some like really rough times ahead. And I want to say this here. If you're in a situation and you really need, start stocking up on canned goods and things like that. And it might be a little too late now because we're at the last week of this October month. Like I was saying, I had went on the live, on the TikTok live, and I was telling some of the young people that maybe they could, I know it's not a permanent fix, but start looking around your communities at the churches and the places that donate food, and some of the holiday season, they have all these giveaways. So you might want to start looking at what places are going to have turkey giveaways or Thanksgiving giveaways. Those lines are going to be probably really crowded. And two, I'm seeing that some places already, they got to give food to some places because of a hurricane in the Caribbeans. So there are people that are being made instantly homeless because of the hurricane. So it's not looking good for a lot of folks. So this is really tough. And I'm hearing that it's an hour wait if you go to the airport to go travel, because the TSA agents aren't getting paid because of the government shutdown. They working for free, and a lot of them are calling in sick. So that's why there's a slowdown at the airports. So that might be not the thing to do unless you want to wait for several hours. And then the safety of flying just almost don't seem like it's that safe anymore. Yeah, it's not good at all, folks. So just be careful about what your surroundings and where you're at and how you conduct your everyday business, because we're starting to feel it. And those people who didn't take politics serious, they were talking about, oh, we vote the couch, Mr. Trump, he's my homie and all that. They were supporting him and all that. And the way this is going, Not a lot of happy people out there, I can tell you that. Hopefully they can tap into that money they was talking about down here. The one they said it was 6 billion. But how are you going to send money to Argentina, millions of dollars, and then send money to Israel, millions of dollars? And then you got people right here. You make money sending it to send troops out to cities with this crime crackdown, and how much taxpayer money are you using that for that? And now you're looking at people in the American country here won't even be able to eat around one of the busiest times of the year that is centered around food, the Thanksgiving month or harvest month. So that's how you know things are getting really bad. Then you have the very people who supported you complaining, Arkansas farmers, saying that their businesses are not doing well because of all of the problems that they're facing, and that they're not getting the support even though they supported voting this person in. So when you hear people like that complaining, yeah, it is bad. So just brace yourself for November and December, y'all. Yeah, we about to see rough times ahead if this goes the way it goes. Hopefully people can be fed. I believe everybody needs to eat, But this ain't good. There ain't nothing funny about none of this. So people were laughing and joking about Trump and all this, talking about he's they buddy and all this, and now you might not eat, you can't live nowhere. They making laws for the homeless that you can't even sleep out in the park, nothing. That's how you know this is real bad. People think Halloween, that's the devil's day. No, the devil is busy 365 days a year. What we seeing right here, he's unleashed, as far as I'm concerned. Y'all take care of yourselves now and stay up on politics, because it will affect you, even if you think it doesn't. It's not only on TV, it's on your smartphone, it's on your cell phone, it's in the paper, it's everywhere around you, it's in your communities. Politics, even if you say you're not involved, you are part of politics. Church is involved too. You part of the politics too. We seeing a lot of that stuff coming up about them. Either you're doing the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing. There's no way around it. So you doing the right thing, you trying to get on board with what people's needs are, or you doing the opposite? You got a building fund for people that there ain't no building that you building your pockets, lining them. Seems like all these companies and all these institutions, that's what it's about, the money. And so it's about class war, and not only racial issues and all these other political violence issues, but also a classism war. The haves and the have-nots. And a lot of us we don't have Elon Musk money. Although I see people riding around pretending like they got it, riding around in Teslas and can't pay their bills. So I don't know what sense that makes. Make it make sense. Y'all need to be looking at what's going on, because it is going to affect you. So pretending like you got money, that ain't going to help you neither. So if you riding around in somebody's car, you making them rich. You ain't the smart one. They doing some number on some people, because I'm seeing people making some real horrible decisions, and it ain't taking them into a good place. And right here, y'all better pay attention, because if you think this is a joke, this ain't no joke. We gonna see. If they start swiping them cards and they don't see no money on it, oh yeah, it's gonna be something that's gonna happen. A lot of these stores gonna have to lock down. That means a lot of people are gonna be affected. Even the ones that can pay for some food might have to be buying your stuff online. You might not even be feeling safe about going in the grocery store because people are desperate. They don't have no money. They don't have no food. Oh, we gonna see some unwanted performances go down. So I have to say it like this. You know, these holidays, they're pagan holidays, but ultimately you want to spend time with your family. You want to enjoy a meal. You want to be able to talk to people and see people you haven't seen in maybe a while, or either just be able to spend time with your immediate family. You have some downtime. But how do you do this when you don't have no food? When you hustling trying to figure out what you're going to eat? That doesn't sound good to me at all. So y'all take care of yourselves now. Stay up on the news. Stay up on politics because you want to see where it affects you ultimately. I know everything isn't all good in politics, but when it affects you directly like this, that's what makes you have to know what's going on. How does it affect your community and your family? That's the part that you should realize. And people need to get out of this stuff in their head that, oh, this ain't happening over here, then it don't affect me. Oh, it's coming down the pike. It's going to come your way. And now I think this right here, this ain't even at your back door. This is at your front door, right in your face. All right, take care now. Y'all try to get yourself organized and look at your local community. Find out where all the food banks are, the churches giving away, the people donating food, because you're going to need it. If it turns out to be the way it's looking, you're going to need it.